What's going on, everybody? Today I just wanted to make a quick video sort of just talking about my experiences with EX units and so far how it's going. Basically, like one of the things I wanted to mention was EX jobs hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. I kind of originally thought that since we had to get 400 mind spheres that it would be just as hard as getting like 400 shards for a unit and spending a ton of Viz and stuff like that. But it actually hasn't been too bad, and actually I feel like it's been a pretty good experience. I've been enjoying it. Granted, it does take a lot of materials to get to 120. I've kind of been spreading it out across these units, but once you get to like 115, 120, once you start unlocking those skills and using up those new alchemists, the units actually become pretty fun to use. So I kind of just wanted to go over sort of some of my EX units here. So first off, let's start with the UR units, Yuna and Titus. I feel like my opinion on them is both pretty much the same. I've kind of been using them to farm, essentially. Yuna is basically the farming machine in terms of brutal EX quests. So far, she's been pretty, like most of the past ones. Titus, I've used him in one of the past brutal EXs, which was pretty good because everybody was using Titus and it was like Chain City. Part of my issue with Yuna and Titus is that everybody else is kind of using them, so I kind of just feel like they're not really that special, and it's just like, oh, you kind of just throw on your super team and go to town. So part of the issue too is that I've kind of been using my fire team and I've been more focused on them. And I've been enjoying using them, so I haven't really... And I kind of see them as sort of the bane of my existence because the fire team is weak to water and Yuna's just really good. And, she does magic damage and my team isn't necessarily built against magic. So moving on, we're just going to talk about Silma next. I really love that they gave us a free unit. I still haven't been able to use her against Titus's on my fire team. But I just still haven't really finished building her. She's pretty much unlocked in terms of everything. It's just resonance. I'm one level away from maxing her resonance. I did, however, do a nice little run last night with the fire team, Seymour and King Mont, in addition to Silma. So that was actually pretty fun. We did do pretty well. But of course, that was the first day of Arena, which is usually pretty easy to win your first 5 matches. So that's really all I have in terms of Silma. I'm still trying to figure out her exact skills that I want to have enabled so that she can use them automatically on auto. But so far, I did enjoy building her. I think she's going to be a good unit. I don't really know how well that's going to go. One person I wanted to talk about the most is actually Phoebe. Phoebe has kind of been getting a boost in magic, and I honestly think it's supposed to be for better healing power. I'm not really sure how much you need to heal though, but the other thing is that she actually has a couple of attacking moves, even though she didn't gain any new ones. So those do benefit from the magic attack increase, the magic increase I should say. The other thing I wanted to talk about too is that she does have access to vision abilities from certain VCs, and those are namely Black Rose of the Battlefield and Blossoms in the Dark, which is the Skahal card, and Black Rose of the Battlefield is obviously the Queen Helena card. So I took some footage of me. I basically just went into the Brutal EX that we currently have, and I used each attack. The first one here is Shadow Flare. As you can see, it does a big AoE damage. It kind of just does half damage. And, you probably use this on some of your other mage units. But, it does give Phoebe access to a calculator-like attack. And it does have big AoE. So I'm kind of just thinking of Phoebe as sort of a very, quote-unquote, free-to-play friendly, accessible unit to be able to use in your selection quest. I think she's going to be able to do some pretty decent damage. The only really bad thing about her is between Comet, Meteor, and one of these other vision ability skills, She doesn't really have that many charges for those skills, so it's a little bit limited, but I think she's going to be good anyway because she can heal, she can use time magic. So I just think she's generally really good, even for an SR unit. Alright, so the second piece here is for Rwenja. If I go here, you can see that it does almost one-shot damage, and if I go to that second part of the video, which is the actual cast, she actually gets a crit, so she ends up doing one-shot damage. Rwenja actually does XL damage, so it's actually a pretty good attack to kind of just put on her. And so far what it seems with these vision abilities is, as long as it's a magic vision ability, it seems to cover like most of the mages. So I think that's actually pretty good compared to some of the other vision ability cards, which cover a certain... The one I'm thinking off the top of my head is the Rob card, which is only for samurais, I believe. So they only cover a certain sort of group of units, or maybe just one job specifically. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Phoebe. Next up here is Mont. As you guys probably saw in my Silma quest video, I used Mont for the Brutal EX. He pretty much has no problem in either one of those EXs. Throw bells on him and he just goes to town with Taunting Blade, Killer Blade, Killer Drain Blade, and Stone Throw Mastery. He's actually really good. He's got a lot of HP. So far he's been pretty good. I also used him in class match. Granted, I haven't really been tanking like super damage, but he does tank some good damage. He does have Sentinel. He has a pretty good kit considering he's like a free MR unit. Obviously he's like a little bit better than MR, but he's pretty good. Alright, next up is kind of Seymour and Mont, kind of, I guess, King Mont. Seymour's been pretty good, actually. I just got him to 115, so I did just sort of unlock his Soul Blade enhancement, which gives them better AP consumption, which has actually been pretty good. I feel like he's been able to use both Kongo and Jensei Oborozuki. Not sure the pronunciation of that attack, or basically the word. But that attack is actually really good, and he's actually used it in some clutch moments. So I feel like he's been worthwhile EXing. And so basically that attack is a big cross-shaped AoE attack, and it has the ability to disable and slow. I believe I did hit a disable yesterday, and I hit a slow sometime last week. So he's actually been really good. I feel very happy that I built him. So he's actually been paying off, and he's not even at 115 yet, and I could only imagine once I get him to 120. Same thing with Mont. Mont has been King Mont has been a pretty versatile, basically like Mont, pretty versatile unit. Claws of the Young Lion, Proclamation. If you put bells on him, he can pretty much use whichever attack he wants to. He does have the, what do you call it? In the ninja, he has Decider of Fate. So if you need a 100% accurate attack, he does have that available to him. There was one time I went up against the 2B with that on, but I wasn't actually paying attention that much to the battle, so I didn't see if he actually used it. But he does have that option. He also has the ability to break barriers, and he's got the ability to disable. Oh, and the one thing I wanted to mention is with his LB with the Berserk. I'm not sure if I like it that much. I actually ended up disabling it. I feel like it's probably going to be good against magic users, but I kind of feel like the Berserk actually gives a little bit more attack power to the physical attackers. So I feel like their physical attack actually does more damage. I feel like it ended up costing me a match actually a couple of times. So not the biggest fan of that yet, but maybe in the future we'll see if I can actually make better use of it. In terms of Lee Art, haven't really gotten to use her yet. I did just recently get her to job level 22, so that I'm kind of between the 110 to 115 range. I haven't really gotten a chance to use her abilities. I did have her in class match for a little bit, but I was running it auto, and then I kind of decided, you know what, auto's not working out for me. So I actually switched to regular Mont. and regular mont's been doing well. So I don't really have much to say about her, but I am looking forward to using her a little bit more. Last but not least is Rain. So Rain, the good thing about Rain is that his shards have been pretty easy to get. So I was able to get him to like job level 22 without much of a problem. So the fire cast is pretty good. The Firaga instant cast and the slow, pretty good. I've seen other people using them. I haven't gotten a chance to use them myself, but he should pretty much be ready for today for me to be able to use them in arena. So I am looking forward to that. So I kind of wanted to go into the mock shop for a little bit and sort of just talk about how it's been with that. So we were lucky enough to get the Mind Sphere update, which was very useful. And I actually recorded this video once, but for some reason the voice didn't record, so I'm recording it again. So what ended up happening is I was showing basically myself buying the King Mont shards, and it actually hasn't been too bad. He is double cost, so they do cost double, but this has been pretty helpful in sort of getting him to that next, level 20, job level 22. So I was able to do that. I still haven't unlocked it yet because I'm still missing some tablets, but I think that was pretty good. So kind of the other thing that I wanted to mention is, if we go back to Rain here, when you buy the unit shards, Rain, I kind of feel like he's free to play friendly because of this. His unit shards are always here. He seems to always be on 9 steps, and I seem to pull him pretty often. So I kind of wanted to mention that if you buy the 10 unit shards here, you actually get 10 Mog medals out of that. So you can kind of recycle them a little bit, and it's almost like a discount basically. So actually what I ended up doing yesterday was I bought 5 sets of these to get 50. And what happens is that once you get those 50 Mog medals, you basically get a bonus set of 10 out of it. So I thought that was actually pretty good. And I feel like, aside from, grinding all the materials, I feel like Gumi's been pretty generous in terms of giving us options to sort of max out our EX units. The other one I did was Seymour. I basically just did his 50, and I was able to get him to job level 22. So I stopped there for now. The next set is, I need basically 200 total, so I basically haven't done that yet. Once I kind of get to a comfortable range, I'll be able to just do that. Next set here was Phoebe. I basically just maxed her. She was pretty close already, so I just rounded it off here. It wasn't really that big of an issue. I only needed 41 apparently. And then the last one I wanted to talk about was for the art. I kind of noticed that our rarity units are a little harder to max out because you only get 15 shards out of them, I think. Or maybe it's 10 or so. I'm not really sure. So I still kind of am needing to build, but I do have the option here. Basically at this point I need 200, so I'm not really going to go crazy here. And it's kind of the same thing with Zazan. It's kind of hard to get his shards a little bit, but you can definitely, he's a little bit easier with the Mog medals, so you can definitely max him out this way. I haven't done him yet because I'm kind of running low on blossoms, but maybe in the future I will. He's actually seems like he's pretty good. Alright, so done with that part of the video. So I actually recorded my MR pulls. Unfortunately, there's no audio, so enjoy that without audio.